Monday nights are going to be a whole lot more fun now with the start of the new TV series on Fox, Gotham. Welcome back, everyone. This is Jason. Um, yeah, if you've watched my videos before, you've heard me say that there's not too many things that I watch on TV besides wrestling these days. Of course, I'm waiting for the return of The Walking Dead, which is coming back in about a month or so. And there's a couple others that I watch, but this is this premiere is one of the big things I was really looking forward to. So this video is going to be covering my thoughts on the pilot and some of the main plot lines and the characters that go along with them. And I probably will be covering, which will be a first on this channel, I will be covering all the episodes, doing reviews on each episode. So with that being said, let's jump right into it. First thing I want to talk about with this is one of the first things you know when you start watching this, and I'm probably going to go back and watch it again just because in a TV series like this, there can be a lot more details to it than a normal TV series. What I'm talking about is when you start watching the show, you'll notice, of course, the TV series is called Gotham, so it's about the city. The atmosphere and the surroundings in this TV series is almost like a character in itself in this TV series. You'll notice that the atmosphere is very dark and gloomy, always cloudy. It's raining a lot in the TV series. It almost has that. It doesn't have that classic comic book feel to it. It has more of the Dark Knight feel to it. It really does. A darker brooding, like the city itself is just evil and waiting for something nasty to happen. So that in itself was kind of cool. Just looking at the city itself, looking when it starts showing like the skyline, and I know this TV series was shot in New York, and of course they added stuff to it, but whoever did that really took the time and to really focus on the city itself is its own character, and it holds all this in it. So I just wanted to start up by saying that that right there kind of gets you in the mood of what's going to happen in this TV series, that it's going to be something dark and mysterious. The main characters, and I'm looking at the Fox.com Gotham page as I'm doing this, just to make sure I touch on everything I want to. I could have made a million notes for this, but it's just easier to look at this as I'm clicking around and talking about it. One thing you find out right away when you start watching this TV series is wherever you see Bruce Wayne, you see Selina Kyle. Selina Kyle's the first character we see in this TV series. She is what you would call your typical cat burglar. And you kind of get the feel for who she is right away. She steals a guy's wallet. She takes someone's half gallon of milk and she takes off. And she disappears immediately after being chased down for like not even half a block. She runs up the fire escape and boom, she's gone. And you see right away that after she gets a fair distance away, after she knows she's safe, she already has almost the whole half gallon of milk gone. So that right there is very cat-like. And she shares the rest of it with some of her feline friends in the alley, which immediately jumps into the next part of this show. And we see Bruce Wayne and his parents Thomas and Martha Wayne, and the infamous scene that we've seen in other movies and other things before, where they are gunned down by a robber, and it just sets up for everything else to happen. And then we see uh, we get to meet Jim Gordon and his partner Harvey Bullock. Harvey Bullock is, I want to touch on him for a little bit before I get into Jim Gordon. Harvey Bullock, you could tell very quickly in the series that you could tell he's been on the force for a while, and he's kind of, well, I shouldn't say kind of, he's let Gotham change him. There's not just good versus evil with the police versus these bad guys. There's a lot of layers of good and a lot of layers of bad. And Harvey Bullock rides that fine gray line between good and evil. And so he's watching out after his new partner, Jim Gordon, new on the force. Apparently is from Gotham, but he's been gone for quite a while. It seems like he was off, and it doesn't really say that he was, where he was, what war he was, but he was in the military, fighting some war, and he's back now. And because of his military past, now he's got a job on the force. So you can see that Jim Gordon's got that military toughness, that military, how do I say it? He's got his guidelines. He does stuff by the book. You can tell, he's got that real cut look. He's got the clean haircut. We get, after the murder scene, we see one of the first, not crime, I don't know if she's a real crime boss, but she has thugs underneath her. She runs a nightclub. We meet Fish Mooney. And her first meeting with Jim Gordon, she says, "Well, aren't you a tall, cold glass of milk?" or something to that effect, just because she can tell right away that she's going to have trouble with him. Whereas she already has this relationship with Harvey. They go in to question her, and he looks like he's about to, propose to her. He goes up to her, he gives her a hug, he gives her a kiss, and Jim's like, "What the heck is this? We're supposed to be questioning her, not making out with her," So that right there, already you see there's, some shadiness going on, and you can tell it just looks bad. Jim's got that bad feeling. We also meet at the same time Oswald Cobblepot, who is one of Fish Mooney's thugs, one of her henchmen, whatever you want to call it. And you find out throughout the show, because he's been communicating with a different part of the police force, was it special crimes, whatever, a unit above where Harvey Bullock is. He's been communicating with them, trying to give them little snippets on what's going on the inside. So he's like the mole. He's the bad guy, but he's keeping himself out of trouble by, dishing out information to them. So we get to meet him, and obviously he wants to wipe out Fish Mooney and take over, the club, or, whatever other crime dealings that she's involved in. He wants to take that over. And going back to the police office, we also meet Edward Nygma, who later we know becomes the Riddler. And you could tell right away he's, very book smart. He's very proud of what he knows. He's very almost, you use the word, I don't know, snarky. Like, I know this, and I'll bet you don't know this. So I'm gonna, make up this riddle to try to make you figure it out. And Harvey Bullock right away is like, look, just don't BS me. Just tell me what you found out. So it's going to be interesting to see this character, Enigma, and how he turns into the Riddler, because obviously he's on the good side right now. So something's going to happen somewhere down the line where somebody turns on him or makes him feel unappreciated to where he's going to get nasty. Watching this transformation for him to go from the good side to the dark side is going to be pretty cool. Same with Oswald Cobblepot, his transformation into one of the most infamous crime guys in Gotham, Penguin. And something very interesting is Fish Mooney's thugs, her other guys, jokingly call him Penguin. He does not like Penguin, the term Penguin. And you can tell that when he is called this, he gets very defensive and very nasty. You see that switch go off where he almost becomes bipolar and just gets nasty, and his violent side truly comes out. And along with that that crime family, we meet another crime family towards the end of the episode when Jim Gordon and Harvey Bullock are literally hanging upside down thanks to Fish Mooney's thugs in a meat plant, which has that, it's got a modern feel, and yet it has a really old school gangster feel to it. When they do stuff like this, makes you feel like you're back in the 30s or 40s, back in the old time of the old time gangsters, doing their nasty work. And the detectives actually get saved by another crime boss. We meet Carmine Falcone, leader of the Falcone family. And we come to learn that Jim Gordon's dad, who was head DA in Gotham years ago, actually had a very interesting relationship with Falcone. Falcone tries to, he basically does it out of respect for Gordon's family and saves both their lives by taking out some of Fish Mooney's thugs. And, tries to make sure that Gordon isn't going to be trouble, that he's going to work with him just like his dad did. And, well, we see right away that Falcone is none too happy to find out that, things aren't exactly going to go that way. And Gordon's really, really is over his head when it comes to dealing with these crime families already. And Harvey Bullock is he likes him. He respects the kid. He's forced to be with him from his boss. I don't remember her name. But nonetheless, he's forced to be with Jim Gordon. So he's like, well, I might as well like it. I got to protect this kid. I'll try to, steer him in the ways that he's going to be safe in this city. Just like Harvey Bullock is. He's got his relationships with other, crime bosses, and just kind of rides that real fine line between good and evil. And Jim's, you can tell he's really getting pulled in that direction. And we see at towards the end of the episode where he's dealing personally with Oswald Cobblepot, aka Penguin, that he's got a major decision to make. He's got a serious internal battle going on. Harvey Bullock picks him up and he's like, look, we're just going to, I need to keep this relationship with, Fish Mooney intact. And she can't trust this guy. So we're going to take care of him and we're going to become the heroes and, say we got the guy that got, Bruce Wayne's parents killed. So there's all these different tug of wars going on in the department, in Gotham. Everyone's trying to stay on top. Everyone's trying to, stay safe with whoever else they're all dealing with. And Jim Gordon ends up, fake killing Penguin. And, fires a bullet past his head, dumps him in the lake or river, whatever body of water that is. And he swims away, comes out the other side, and he's cold, he's frozen. So it's like he's been exiled from Gotham. But we know that, he eventually is going to come back. And we see that in the preview for the next episode. He gets picked up by a couple of guys, and we see right away how nasty he is. They're kind of, because he is kind of dorky. You do actually kind of feel sorry for him because he's got that look that he's got the nasty side, but he's really trying to, come clean to Jim. And he's like, look, I can help you with this, and he's trying to save his ass at the same time. But, yeah, this there's so many different layers to this show, and if you're a little lost going into this first episode, I highly recommend going to either Gotham's YouTube channel or the website, the fox.com/Gotham, and they've got about between 20 minutes to a half an hour of like 6 or 7 minute clips talking about the characters, talking about the relationships, and it kind of just briefly takes you through the first episode and what we're kind of going into in this series. Talking about, like I said, from the atmosphere of the city itself to the characters, to their relationships, to a couple of the main plot lines. So if you're feeling a little lost, go to the website, check it out, and it'll kind of like catch you up on stuff. Because if you're a fan of Batman, you know most of these characters, but you may not know how they started. And that's what this series is about. This series is an origin series saying how Penguin became Penguin, how Riddler became Riddler, how Catwoman became Catwoman, and the ultimate, how Bruce Wayne, surviving his parents' death, grows up and becomes the anti-hero Batman. So you've got all this, and I know I'm leaving out a couple of small plot lines within the first episode, but I could go on about these different things forever. I don't want to do that. I highly recommend it. Even if you're a casual comic book fan, check this out. When I first heard wind of this, I was really wondering if this was going to be worth checking out, because I had also started watching the Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And I watched a couple episodes and just, there was something missing. And I was disappointed in it because you knew what it was about. It was about Nick Fury and his guys in the group, the S.H.I.E.L.D. Well, it's made up of, Hulk, Captain America, Thor, and all the others. Iron Man. So if you've got a if you've got a TV series revolving around all this, but you don't put any of them in the TV series, something's missing. It's like you're always like, oh, well, it'd be great if they put Iron Man in an episode, or it'd be great if Thor showed up for something. You didn't have any of that. at least in this series, you know what you're getting. You know this is an origin story. You know this is how Gotham transforms all these characters into what they become later in the known comic book universe of DC. So, um, yeah, I was very happy with this. It was kind of fast paced, but I didn't feel it was too fast paced enough because I did watch that half-hour special on TV, and I also watched the videos again on YouTube just to get myself more familiar with, you know, who was all going into this. So if you're feeling lost, watch the videos I was talking about, and you know it might, you know, let you understand a little more. And one last thing I'm going to touch on is, you know, one thing I didn't talk about before is Barbara. Her name is what? Barbara Keene. That is what looks to be the fiance of James Gordon, which probably starts out as being the most pure thing in the show, which quickly deteriorates thanks to the Special Crimes Unit in Gotham, because obviously somebody's got some dirt on somebody, but we don't get all that revealed to us in the first episode. They just touch on it. But obviously, it's going to cause a strain between Barbara and Jim. So we'll see how that proceeds through the rest of the series. It looks like it's only, I went to, was it imdb.com, and just to, you know, get a little more information on it, just to see how long. It looks like it's only 8 um, episodes long. So, and now that if it is, then, well, you know, that's like a half a series worth for some. For example, when The Walking Dead started, it was 6 episodes, and then the next season it went to 12, and then it went to 16. Maybe that's what they're going to do with this. Maybe it's just a short run, and that's all it's going to be. I have no idea, but nonetheless, it'll be great to see, you know, what's all covered in the next, you know, 7 episodes. Great pilot, very happy with it. Tell me in the comments if you watched it, if you plan on watching it. Tell me what you thought of it, and let me know. Even if you're a casual comic book fan, I highly recommend it. It's a great story. Just everything about it, just really well done. So thanks for watching, guys.